nation. David Daoud joins us now. He is a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. David, welcome. So we know Lebanon is top of mind at this G7 meeting. What do you make of the proposed ceasefire deal? Do you think it's viable?
Thank you for having me on. Well, it depends on what you mean by viable. Can it be reached? Can it be agreed to? There's always a possibility. Is it a good deal? I don't think so. I think that the deal contains many gaps that repeat the underlying mistakes that led to Resolution 1701's failure, namely an overdependence upon Lebanon and Lebanese actors to restrain Hezbollah to fulfill their obligations under international law when Lebanon has demonstrated that it lacks both the ability and the will to enforce its sovereignty and to restrain Hezbollah.
David, we're talking about a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah, but could that potentially set the stage for a ceasefire in Gaza down the road?
There is a possibility. I mean, Israeli military operations are continuing in the Gaza Strip. Hezbollah has stance from the outset of this conflict has been that it will continue attacking Israel until a prior ceasefire is achieved in Gaza. Who knows if this deal is going to be used as a pressure point or leverage on the Israelis to also simultaneously stop the war in Gaza, give Hezbollah an off-ramp. There were reports by Israeli journalists that part of what led Prime Minister Netanyahu to agree to the ceasefire deal in Lebanon was that the Biden administration finally agreed to lift the embargo on certain weapons that had not been transferred to Israel. So perhaps the Biden administration has more pressure points on the Israelis to wrap this whole thing up and not just in Lebanon.
Let's talk about Ukraine while I have you here. The war there has really escalated in recent days. What can world leaders do, David, to keep this from spiraling even more?
Oh, that's a little out of my wheelhouse. I don't really deal with Ukraine, but I think, the incoming Trump administration seems to have the confidence of Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky, perhaps a more forward American posture, bringing both sides to the table. But again, like I said, this is not something that I normally deal with.
I know it's not your wheelhouse, these countries particularly, but just the idea that doing this deal might make the West and America look weak on the world stage. Do you think there's merit to that?
The Lebanon deal, you're saying?
The possible deal between Ukraine and Russia, and Vladimir Putin thinking that this makes the West look weak.
Look, I think Vladimir Putin had an objective with invading Ukraine. It wasn't just limited to territorial expansionism. I think he wanted to shatter the international rules-based order, which is founded upon American power and which helps project American power. If you accept the outcomes of a war of aggression in Ukraine, then perhaps you're also contributing to the erosion of that international order and setting the West back and telling dictators or actors like Vladimir Putin that they can continue to act with impunity and these rules don't really matter.
All right, David, thanks for going a little bit outside of your wheelhouse this evening. We always appreciate having you on. David Daoud with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you.
Thank you so much.